This
Hello.
conference will
Yes,
Sir. Do you speak Telugu, sir? Do you understand?
yeah, Telugu. I know Telugu, yes.
సార్
Yeah.
అంటే ట్రైనింగ్ లాస్ట్లో మాక్ ఇంటర్వ్యూస్ అలా ప్లేస్మెంట్స్ లేదా రెజ్యూమ్ ప్రిపరేషన్ అవి చేపిస్తారా సార్? ప్లేస్మెంట్స్ అంటే ఓకే చెప్పారు ఆల్రెడీ. ఈ రెజ్యూమ్ ప్రిపరేషన్ మాక్ టెస్ట్ అవి చేస్తారా? మాక్ ఇంటర్వ్యూస్ అట్లా.
Mock interviews, so we will do that, yes.
ఓకే.
Mock interviews means if you require, so we will be able to tell you how to face the interview and what and all the questions if they are asking in the interviews, then we will be able to guide you how to answer those questions as well.
ఓకే.
Yeah.
అండ్ ఇది మనం ఒకవేళ జాబ్ సెర్చ్ చేయాలంటే ఊరికే నౌకరీలో అంటే ఫంక్షనల్ కన్సల్టెంట్ అని అంటే రోల్ ఏమని మనం టైప్ చేయాలి సార్? సెర్చ్ చేయాలి.
SAP functional consultant.
ఓకే. ఎండ్ యూజర్ అయినా ఫంక్షనల్ కన్సల్టెంట్ అయినా సేమే కదా?
No. End user is separate and functional consultant is separate. End user means he don't know how to configure the system, how to map the business process, all those things he don't know. But we as a consultant, we know how to configure the system, how to map the business into SAP, all those things we know. End user
ఓకే.
means you will simply tell, okay, you do one purchase order creation. He will be doing that thing only. He don't know what exactly happening in the back end, what configuration we have done, all those things he don't know. He just
ఓకే
a
సార్.
typewriter, I can say.
సో ఇప్పుడు ఫంక్షన్ కన్సల్టెన్సీకి ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఎండ్ యూజర్ చేసే వర్క్ అంతా తెలుస్తుంది కదా?
Yes. As a functional consultant, you will be knowing end user what end user is doing. That work also you know. You also
ఆహా.
know apart from that work how to configure the system, how to map the business scenarios, how to debug the issues, etc. Everything you know.
ఓకే. ఓకే సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Yes. Okay, so I think it's already 8:06. So let us start. Let me share my screen. So during the previous session, we were discussing how regarding the version history of SAP system, right? So we have seen like we have a during 2015, SAP thought of changing the database itself, right? So earlier it has a Oracle and the DB2 database. Then SAP thought, why don't we migrate from DB2 and Oracle database to a newest database that is known as S4 HANA database. That is what we are discussing. Right? So why? Because they observed there was some performance issues with Oracle and the DB2 database. Right? So to overcome those issues, they need to go for a newest database that is known as a HANA and the S4 HANA database. Right? So what are the advantages of HANA and S4 HANA database again? Right? So one of the major difference means there are 30 to 40 different changes that they have introduced between a Oracle and the S4 HANA database, but those things we will see in our coming sessions. But in this session, I just give you the technically what is the change they have done when it comes to a Oracle and the S4 HANA. Right? So Oracle database or DB2 database is having the table structure, right? So the table structure in Oracle database is a row based table structure or row based format table structure, right? Then in the S4 HANA database, the table structure is a Column based table structure. Column based table structure. Okay, but if I open SAP system, we will not be able to see how, as a functional consultant, we don't know what is table structure, what is a row based structure. But the programmers, they will be able to see on the fly what exactly the table structure in terms of S4 HANA, in terms of Oracle. Right, but as a functional consultant, if somebody asked technically what is the difference between a Oracle and the S4 HANA database, then you should tell it has a row based structure and S4 HANA has a column based structure. Then the speed of the system, right? So S4 HANA server is 18 times greater in speed, 18 times greater in speed, right? That means if you execute a report in Oracle system, let us say it took 18 minutes to execute, but in the same time, if you execute this report in the S4 HANA, it will be executed only 1 minute time. So that is the reason. So S4 HANA, we will say 18 times in faster in speed compared to a ECC database. Then, since it has a row based format, you can run multiple reports in parallel. Like in case of Oracle database, I can also run the multiple reports in parallel here in Oracle database. Let us say I can run 50 reports or 60 reports at the same time or in parallel, right? Like how I will run the reports parallel, I will just show it to you. Let us say I will open SAP system, right? So if you want to log in into SAP system, you need to have the server details configured. So let me try to double click on this particular. So I need to give a user ID and the password details. Let us say this is the user ID and the password which I am using is program at the rate 999. Right, so running up my reports in parallel means I can run the reports in parallel, right? So this is one screen and I can open one more screen over here, like that I can open multiple screens. So I have opened 4 screens here over here. So you can open, I think, maximum 8 to 10 screens in one go. And every screen I will use to do a specific task. Right, I can do the tasks parallelly. Multiple tasks I can do in parallel. Right. So let us say I am executing a report in this particular screen. Right. Let us say I want to execute a open purchase orders report. Right, so let me go to the purchase order. In this particular screen, I want to execute or run a open purchase orders report. Right, let us say ME2N is the open purchase orders report. So I want to execute open purchase orders report in this particular screen. Let us say I want to run a report specific to a plant 3000. So this is one report. At the same time, 1 minute, I am getting one call. Okay, so let us say in this particular screen, I am executing a open purchase orders report. Parallelly, in this screen, I will run a open purchase requisitions report. That is, open purchase requisitions report is a altogether a separate report. Let us say I want to execute a open purchase report. So you will come to know all these things in our coming sessions, right? But in this session, I just wanted to see how a multiple reports will be executed in one go. This is the S4 ECC server. It is not a S4 HANA. It is not the latest one, but it is a previous to S4 HANA server. So then we have a inventory valuation report. In this particular screen, I want to execute a inventory valuation report, right? Like this, you can run multiple reports in one go parallelly in ECC server as well as in S4 HANA server as well, right? So let me try to execute a inventory valuation report over here. Let me try to, let us say there is a report. I just wanted to run a inventory valuation report. Okay, so I will try to execute MB5B for the plant 3000. So like this, I can run 50 or 60 reports in parallel. Let me execute open purchase requisition. This is the report running. Here, this is the report running. Here also, this is the report running. So the parallelly, I executed multiple reports. This is still running. This is still running, but this is already executed, right? So in ECC, you can run multiple reports, but in S4 HANA also you can run the multiple reports, right? See here the reports are already executed. Here it is executed. Here also it got executed, and here also it got executed, right? So so you can run multiple reports in parallel in ECC, as well as you can also run the reports, multiple reports in parallel in S4 HANA as well, like 50, 60 reports. Like how I have executed a 3 reports, you can also execute multiple reports in one go. But in case of ECC, there is a chance of getting the program failures. Means it will get into a dump mode or the failure mode. But here, because of the column based structure, so the data extraction will be easy and you will have a less chances of getting a program into failure, right? So this is one of the major change what they have done from the DB2 to AS4 HANA database, right? Like this, we have 30 to 40 different advantages of S4 HANA. So we will discuss all those things in our coming sessions when we are really discussing those things in the coming sessions, right? So SAP thought during 2015 they don't want to migrate finance as well as logistics modules completely from DB2 to S4 HANA, right? If they change complete all the entire modules, then what will happen if something failed with the help with the use of S4 HANA? Then everything may crash, right? So they thought we will do the database change phase by phase, right? So during 2015, they have changed the database from DB2 to S4 HANA for for a finance module only. Only for the finance solutions, they have changed the database from DB2 to S4 HANA database. And they gave the naming convention of this particular database change as a simple finance. They gave naming convention to this particular database change as a simple finance. Right, so then they introduced this thing, and in the market every customer was very much happy with the simple finance solutions. Why? Because of the speed, right? So every customer was quite happy, and there was a very good feedback from the market for the S4 HANA database. Then during 2016, SAP changed the database from DB2 to S4 HANA for logistics solutions as well. Like we discussed, right? There are so many logistics modules like SAP MM, SAP PP, SAP QM, SAP WM, SAP HR, SAP HD. So for all those modules, they also changed the database from DB2 to S4 HANA database, and they called that particular module as simple logistics. Right? Right. Right. So they have given the naming convention as simple logistics. So it also got a very good feedback from the market, from the customers. Right. So then SAP during 2017, so they have released one more version known as SAP HANA
Excuse me, sir.
S4 HANA version 1709. Right. Then again during 2018, SAP HANA S4 HANA version 1809. Again during 2019, SAP HANA S4 HANA version 1909. Again during 2020 and 21, they have released, I think during 2020 they released version 2020. Presently we are into version 2021. So these are all S4 HANA versions, right? So like this, SAP has version history from 1972 to till date. Almost they did so many version upgrades. I just gave you some brief understanding, but if you go to one of the Google document where you will see SAP version history quite clearly. Let me open the SAP version history. Right. So if you go to Google and if you put SAP version history, right? So here you will see SAP versions release and history of evaluations. Right here there is a very good document. If you have some time, you can go through the version history of SAP from 1972 to till here. So there is lots of releases that are released during this 40 years span of the time. If you have some time, you can go through this particular document for a clear understanding of the version management. Right. Okay, so any doubts or clarifications in this SAP version history or the version management? Any doubts from the line? Any doubts from the line?
Sir,
Okay.
your voice is continuously breaking, sir.
I think no problem from my side. Is it the same case for others as well?
No, sir, it's clear.
Hello.
No, sir, it's
Yeah,
clear.
yeah. Can you check your connectivity? Right. So, did you join via a mobile?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, check your connectivity. I have very good broadband here. Okay. So then, what
Okay,
next?
sir.
Yeah, the next
Sir,
activity is, yeah, yeah. Please ask me.
so for 2018, 1809, 2019, 1909, 2020, 2020, like that they are keeping. So why
Hmm.
they not change it for this year? Means now it's running 2023, right? But still we are using
20,
2021 version only.
yeah, yeah, they will release. They will release. They may be doing that R&D, right? They may release
Oh,
soon one more version. Yeah, so it is a continuous process. So they are continuously upgrading their cells. So that is one of the major advantage with SAP, right? Let us say if you
okay.
don't upgrade ourselves in the market, right, we will be out of date.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
So so that is the reason SAP is evolving themselves on continuous basis so that there will be a demand in the market for them, right?
Sir, in which way
Okay.
this version is getting changed? So, like in which way it is getting better? Like in case of speed or any other specification?
Speed as well as the look and feel as well as the solution wise, right? Mainly solution wise, right? So whatever may be the solutions that you are providing to a client, right? Those solutions should exactly suffice the requirement of the clients, right? Solutioning is the main important. So
Okay.
solution wise as well as the speed wise. Also, the number of solutions that you are providing for different industries. Let us say today I have a solution for only power sector, but tomorrow I will also release for tomorrow I will introduce for the mining sector, right? Solution upgrades also they are doing for different sectors.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Also, let us say if you take ECC, right? If you take ECC, we don't have so many functionalities, but in S4 HANA we have so many advanced functionalities as well as advanced solutions as well, like flexible workflow functionality, BRF plus functionality, Fairy apps like that. Fairy apps means let us say the latest functionality is Fairy apps. Like so, in the olden days means some 10, 8, 9 years back, if I wanted to work up on SAP, I need to open the laptop, right? I need to open the laptop or the monitor or the computer. I need to log in by using this particular graphical user interface and start doing the work. But nowadays it is not like that. So it is URL based as well. When I say URL based, like URL based means 1 minute. It is URL based means like I will open the SAP via a URL as well. So that let us say I am traveling, right? I have a mobile, so I can use one of the link or the URL to open the SAP, and I will log in my via mobile as well by providing the user ID and the password details, and I will try to start working via mobile as well.
Okay.
So that is also possible. So like this, they are doing so many upgrades in terms of various functionalities as well as the better performance to the clients or the users.
Okay.
Okay, so then what next? So what is the next topic? So the next topic is, let me see, the next topic is SAP project chatter, right? So every project, when I say SAP project chatter, what is the meaning of that? Right? So the meaning of that is if you take any SAP project, right? Mainly it will have minimum 8 to 12 months of tenure. If any SAP project, if you take small project as well, it will take at least 12 months span, 8 to 12 months minimum small project, but there are so many projects which you are executing from long 15 years as well. Like very big companies, they started some 15 years back. Still the projects are running on it, right? So So when I say SAP project, what and all phases it will have, or what is the implementation methodology I will be using for a project. So the one of the SAP project implementation methodology, right? Implementation method or the process. Method means process, you can say. If I am implementing a SAP project, what is the methodology I will be using? I need to follow some process, right? I should not go blindly. I need to follow one of the defined process for a project so that I will be successful. Right? There are various implementation methodologies. One of the oldest methodology is SAP methodology. So when I say SAP, the full form of SAP methodology is ascendant SAP methodology. So this is the one of the oldest methodology which was used in the SAP implementation projects. So then we also have some of the latest methodologies, right? Like we have Agile methodology, right? So then we also have a waterfall methodology. So then we have the sprint methodology. Right, so these are the some of the methodologies every project will be using. Right, so 1 minute meeting now. Right, so the latest S4 HANA projects were using sprint. Right, so if you are implementing S4 HANA, so S4 HANA projects are using sprint or a waterfall or agile methodology. But the ECC projects were using ECC or the Oracle and the DB2 database, right? So this is the ECC, this one, right? So this is the ECC. So if you want to implement a project of SAP in ECC, so SAP methodology was one of the methodology which was used during the ECC projects. So then let me take an example of the anyone knows what is agile, waterfall, or sprint methodology. Any idea? Right. So agile, waterfall, and sprint methodology is the methodology they will be using is they will, let us say, they will divide the project into a minute level, sub processes level. Let us say I have a header level process. So they will divide the process into sub processes, small sub processes they will divide, and they will start with implementing one by one each and every sub process. So that is the agile or waterfall or sprint methodology. Means like I have a very big process, right? So they will divide this particular process into sub process 1, then sub process 2, and sub process 3. Like that, they will divide the main process into some small sub processes, and they will start working upon process by process continuously. First they will do this particular, they will execute this particular process, then they will execute the second one, like that, and they will execute the third one, like that. They will step by step they will try to execute a process over here. At the end they will achieve a main process, right? They started implementing process 1, process 2, process 3. At the end of the project they will completely develop the main process, which is a sprint or waterfall or agile methodology. But when it comes to a SAP methodology, So SAP methodology is one of the oldest methodology. It will have 5 phases included in it, right? So let me try to save it as. So when I say SAP methodology will have 5 phases included in it, right? SAP SAP methodology. So it will have 5 phases included in it, right? So the phase number one, we will be calling it as a project preparation phase, right? So every project will have phases, right? Phase one, it will run for 2 months. Phase two, again 2 more months. Phase three, again 2 more months. Phase four, again 2 more months. Phase five, 1 month, like that. So every project I will be dividing into 5 phases if I am using a SAP methodology for the implementation. So then we have a phase two, that is known as business printing phase. Then phase three, we have realization phase. And phase four, we have final preparation. Then phase five is the go live and support and enhancement phase. And support and enhancement phase. Right, so this is one of the interview questions. So if you go to SAP project, they will ask what is the project methodology you have utilized in your project and what and all the phases it includes. So you need to tell we have used SAP methodology. It has 5 phases: project preparation phase, business blueprinting, realization, final preparation, and go live and support phase. So in the project preparation phase, what activities will normally be taken place? Let us say I want to implement a project from 1st of February. So I need to do some background work, right? So that I will be able to start the project on 1st of February easily. So in the project preparation phase, we need to do some activities like we need to have a licenses procured from SAP company, right? So license procured from SAP company is a project preparation activity. Then also the servers, right? Servers to be arranged for a project to be implemented. These things should be ready, right? Without having servers or licenses, I will not be able to start my project. So then we have a computer peripherals, or like I need to have a internet available with my office. Also the computer peripherals like desktop or laptop, any computer peripherals which are required for a project should be arranged within a project preparation phase. Also, identification of business users or a business process owners and a core team members, right? Identification of business process owners right? And a core team members. Also the consultants, right? Let us say I started a project. I need to involve so many people in the project, right? Like SAP MM consultant. Who will be the SAP MM consultant working in this project? Who will be the sales and distribution consultant? Who will be the finance consultant? So we need to have the team also developed and identified as a part of project preparation phase, along with the core team from the client side. Who will be the person that is involved from the client to work in each and every module? Who will be working from the client side as a MM module person and the SD module person or finance person, etc. So like this, we need to build a project infrastructure during the project preparation phase. So any doubts over here in the project preparation phase? Are you clear on this or do you have any doubts?
So basically, these methodologies or whatever we're discussing right now is basically a planning for the project. Is it so?
Not planning. It is, yeah, you can say planning. Yeah, you can say planning. But each and every phase, there will be some specific task or the work to be completed. Yeah, you can say planning only.
But these methodologies are fixed, sir, like for any project.
Yeah, yeah, fixed.
Okay.
Fixed means timelines may be varying, but the project phases are fixed, right? So if my project is very big, so the realization phase may take 6 months. But if it is a small, it will be only 1 month, right?
Yeah, I mean the terminology of the phase, those are fixed, like accordingly. Phase one,
Yeah,
two,
yeah,
three.
yeah. Phases are fixed, but the timelines may depending upon your size of the project.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so then we have a business blueprinting phase. What is a business blueprinting phase? Business blueprinting phase divided into two sub phases. One is, I think we already discussed this, as is business process study, right? As is business process study. Then in the as is business process study, as a consultant, right? So I am the consultant identified as for the MM. Then I will be deployed into the client premises. Then I will go to the client location and I will try to understand their existing business processes, how they are working today. I will try to understand by conducting a workshops or by conducting meetings or by discussing with a business process owner or a core team member within a procurement or the inventory management department, right? So that particular phase where I am trying to understand their existing business processes will be called as a as is business process study. Once I have understood their existing business processes, I need to think how I will be able to map these business processes into one of the new software known as SAP. So that particular identification of or mapping of the existing business processes into SAP will be called as a 2B business process mapping. 2B business process mapping or study, you can say. Right. So once I have thought of 2B business process mapping, how I will achieve this? So do we have a solution already available in SAP? Right. So let us say I identify 10 business processes are there in the present scenario in a company or within a client. Then I will see out of 10 business scenarios, let us say 8 scenarios are SAP standard scenarios. Means the solution is available within SAP as a standard. Means we have the already predefined solution in SAP for 8 scenarios. For the rest of the 2 scenarios, there is no standard solution available readily in SAP, right? Then I need to think how I should be able to develop this particular solution. Do I need to do a new programming or new development or new coding, right? So once I have identified the new coding requirements or the new customization or the new programs for these two solutions where there is no standard solution available, I need to document the analysis which I have done for this to be process mapping scenarios. So that particular documentation of the scenarios will be called as a business blueprinting, right? So BBP document preparation, right? So I will be documenting them, these business processes, by foreseeing how I will be able to achieve them in the SAP, right? So this particular phase of documenting a business scenarios will be called as the business blueprinting phase, right? Then we have a realization phase. Let us say I documented 10 scenarios or processes. To achieve these 10 processes within SAP, I need to do so many activities, right? One activity I have to perform is like I need to do various configurations. We will see what is a configuration, right? So then I need to do some custom developments or the new program developments, right? I need to maintain so much of master data. So after maintaining a configuration, new program development and master data, I need to see whether whatever may be the solutions which I have developed, are they sufficing the requirement of the client or not, right? How I will ensure the solutions which I have developed are sufficing the requirement of the client or not. So I need to perform various types of testings, right? By doing testing only, I will be able to come to a conclusion that the solution which I have developed is working fine or not, right? So I need to do various types of testings in the realization phase, right? So like you have, I think there are 10 to 12 types of testings, but I will try to explain some. So we have a unit testing. We will do unit testing in the realization phase. Then we will do ITC1 and ITC2. ITC means integration testing cycle 1, and in the integration testing cycle 2. Then user acceptance testing. Then performance testing, right? Then we have LES1 and LES2, live environment testing, etc. LES means live environment testing. Then we have regression testing, like that. There are so many testings which will be done as a part of realization phase to ensure whatever may be the solution which I have developed will be suited for the client requirement. Right, I developed a solution, but it is not suffice the client requirement, then it is a waste of time, right? So I need to ensure the solution which I have developed should be working as per the client requirement. So, right, so then once all the testings are done and I came to a conclusion that whatever may be the solutions I have developed is completely fine for the client, right? He is very happy. then I need to make my system ready for the live of SAP, right? So I will fix one date. On that day, I will say, so we have everything ready for the SAP to be used within a client company. They will stop all the old systems and they will try to execute the scenarios in SAP. Let us say we thought of implementing or we thought of going live with SAP on 1st of February, let us say, right? So then I need to make the production server of SAP or the real-time server of the SAP. So this is not a real-time system, right? So I am not doing any real-time business scenario execution here. I am using this particular server only for the testing purpose or training purpose, right? It is not a real-time server. Real-time means where a real-time transactions will be executed. But this is not the real-time server. Instead, I am using to train you, right? So that means this is the training server. I can create any data, dummy data, whichever I want, right? But the production server or the live environment server is one of the server where we will do the live environment business scenarios execution. So let us say I thought of going live with the production server on February 23. So I need to make my production server ready for live on 1st of February, right? So before 1 week of 1st of February, that means let us say on 25th of 25th of December 2022, I will start with creating various types of master datas. Like in SAP MM, we have 7 master datas. We will see what is the 7 master datas which we have in SAP. So all those master data creation, open transactions creation, and transport request configuration import to a production server, all those things will be imported to a production server or the actual server. So that particular I am making production server ready for live on 1st of February, right? So that particular activity of making a production server ready for live on 1st of February will be called as a final preparation phase, where we will do so many activities. We will see what and all those activities. If you started working with one of the project, then you will come to know what and all the activities that you are going to perform in the final preparation phase, right? So this phase will be at least 2 weeks. Any doubts? Is someone asking questions? Yeah, Prasad, tell me. Prasad, are you asking something?
No, no, no. It was just accident.
Sir,
Okay
in
then.
the future, practically you will explain about these things, sir? Practically you will show?
Practically means so this particular phases, right? You will really come to know. Yes, we will tell you. Like this only, I will be able to explain. But when you will come to a realization when you actually work in your project, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So now we have. I think Venkatesh, any problem? You are joining and leaving the class. Any issues with your network? Can you hear me? Okay. So let's then phase 5. In the phase 5, you will decide one date. On that particular date, you will be going live with the SAP system and stop working with one of the old systems which you are using in your company, right? So that particular date I will be calling as a go live and support phase where the business users will start using a production system or the live system and trying to do the transactions in the real-time server, that is known as a go live and support and enhance go live and support. Then what is a enhancement? Enhancement means enhancement phase. We call this particular phase also enhancement phase. Means let us say I developed a solution, right? The client is using that particular solution. At least he already completed 6 months of time. We went live on 01 February for one of the business process, and today is, let us say, 31st 12 2023, means it is already 1 year over, 11 months over. In my company I am using the SAP. So the client will come up with so many queries. Let us say we are using one process like this, but it is not a proper way of doing that particular process. Why don't we enhance in the another way? So he will come up with so many such type of doubts or the queries, and he will ask us to enhance the existing solution to a newest solution so that the performance of the system or maybe so many other things will be improved. So that particular enhancement will be called as a enhancement project or enhancement activity, which will be coming after the go live and support, right? So these are the 5 phases every project will be having in it in SAP implementation projects. But this is also one of the important interview question. If they ask in the interviews, you should be able to explain the 5 phases, the manner which I am able to explain it over here to you, right? Okay, so any doubts on the SAP Ascendant methodology? Right, so if there is no doubt, then the next topic is one of the important topic in the SAP MM is P2P cycle or a procure to pay cycle. So the next topic is P2P or a procure to pay cycle, right? So in SAP we have so many modules, right? That's what I told you. Every module will follow some sequence of steps, right? For every module there will be a starting point and there will be a ending point. In between there will be so many other activities as well. The same way SAP MM also will have a starting point and a ending point. In between there are various other intermediate steps as well. So that particular cycle in SAP MM will be called as a P2P cycle. Complete MM is based upon this pi cycle only, right? So I will call this procure to pay cycle. So what is a procure to pay cycle? So procure to pay cycle starts means what could be the trigger point of a procurement activity in a company, right? So the trigger point of procurement activity in a company is the material requirement, right? Right. So let us say I am the production department supervisor. Let us say I am the I am working for one of the company known as Tata Group. Within the Tata Group, I am the production department supervisor, right? I am the production department supervisor. So I am planning, let us say I am planning to do for the January requirement. Let us say I want to produce, I am doing the planning for January production. Let us say during January, I thought of producing 500 cars in my company, right? So for the January, I need to do the planning in December itself, right? Then only I will be able to arrange all the spare materials. I wanted to produce 500 cars in the January month. So today only I need to foresee whether I have the spare materials available for 500 car production or not. Let us say I will take one of the spare material, let us say tire. So to produce 500 cars, I need 2000 tires. So I need to plan today itself to produce, to have 2000 tires in my company as on 1st of January. Right? So I am doing production related plannings. In the same way, there is one more department that is known as the plant maintenance department. Let us say I am the plant maintenance supervisor, right? Or the plant maintenance manager, right? So I planned to do, there is a machine in my company. So I am planning to do a maintenance activity during January 2023. So I also need to plan the spare materials that are readily available as on 1st of January, so that I will be able to do the plant maintenance without any problems. Let us say I need a bearing of 20 pieces should be available within my company as a spare, so that I can easily plan the plant maintenance for the machine. If I don't have the bearing, I cannot do the plant maintenance, right? If I don't have the tire, I cannot do the production of the car. So I think it is time up. Okay, so we will continue tomorrow. So I don't want to take a lot of time in the evenings. So we will continue tomorrow from the P2P cycle. It will take at least one and a half class. Once the P2P cycle is completed, then we will discuss with the organizational structure. Once organizational structure is defined, then we are going to configure the same in SAP. Right? So thanks a lot for your joining. So please go through the recordings and try to understand the whatever may be the theory part which I am trying to give it to you, so that it will be easy for you in the coming sessions. Right? So any doubts do you have? Okay, so if there is no doubts, we can close the session for today, and we will meet on tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, sir. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Sir, bye, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, sir. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.